stream and on Cruise TV for TikTok and YouTube. You'll be able to watch all that is happening. Now, we on plot 12 Mutile, and we're drawing closer to November, love. This is August, and the children are almost breaking off for holiday, then very short holiday, then they go back for their last term. I'm pretty sure that universities across the country are almost resuming school in about 2 weeks or something like that. The Premier League will be back on the 17th. The Charity Shield is happening about 7th, about that. And Kafulua Wino Masavu is here. The winner is walking out with a brand new motorbike. I hope you're enjoying this particular edition of Kafulua Wino Masavu. It's been fantastic. The competitors are amazing. The questions, the knowledge, and all that you have to do is lock in every weekday, Monday to Thursday from 10 p.m. to midnight. So we get to catch the boys. The team is already with me in studio. Musa Tukwatanise. We have very good news. The big seat here always creates an opportunity for new leaders. Musa Tukwatanise is here. He's a member of the Patriotic League of Uganda, a member of the National Resistance Movement. And I have Bruce Owakunda, who is a member of the National Resistance Movement, political analyst. Binomcha Adios, Denmark, is a member of the PFF, People's Front for Freedom, and we are joined by Bright Muhumuza, who is a member of the National Interplatform. Good morning, Musa Tukwatanisa, and welcome to the big set.
Good morning, my brother Banyaji. Good morning to comrades here in the studio, and good morning to our dear listeners. Musa Tukwatanisa, the political antidote. My name. I thank you for hosting me and giving me an opportunity to share with our fellow Ugandans out there. And I want also to congratulate all our young patriots who successfully satisfied what was required by the UPDF recruitment campaign and have been successfully, have gone through successfully and are ready now to undertake the training. This shows how Uganda is always prepared to implement the constitutional mandate, because if you read the constitution, it says that able-bodied Ugandans should undertake a military training in defense of our national our national boundaries. And so I congratulate them and wish them good luck as they go for training. Otherwise, thank you and nice deliberations.
All right. Good morning, Denmark. Adios, and welcome to the big set.
Good morning, Wesige. I take this opportunity to also receive my fellow panelists and as well receive you as a moderator of today. At the same time, allow me to congratulate the members of PFF. Last week, we launched it here officially for the Ankole region and opened our office in this.
Where is your office located?
It is on just opposite Easy View building. Yeah, so we are happy that our members also got a full message and package of the cooperation agreement between us, PFF, and the NT. So we are now fully set to run.
Are you merging into one political organization?
Definitely no, but we are trying to show the public that the main objective is one.
Aren't you going to pull off a poor Nandala arrangement where you're going to campaign both of you, yet your intentions are different?
No. We have to understand the objective is one. Is changing the regime. So we have to bring all the forces together and work towards that.
Okay. Yes. Good morning, Bright Moms, and welcome to the big set.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Wanyaji. Good morning, listeners.
Right.
I am on a mission now to make sure that the general manager of National Transition Corporation resigns or is dismissed with disgrace.
Because what is the problem?
In our area of Mbara State House, we have been lacking water for like now 2 months. And this is not only particular with this time. It has been happening every time. It is between May and maybe September. Between May and September, we normally suffer that scarcity. And he is one of the most paid government official in this region, the general manager of National Water, who sits here in Mbarara, and he is only enjoying life, drinking very expensive whisks, enjoying muchomo and very beautiful ladies, without attending to our issues.
I hope,
and you know the
I
government,
hope
the government of Uganda pays
him.
him. the government of Uganda pays him to make sure that we get services. And the services we want from him, we pay for them.
I hope
we don't want a free service from him. Why doesn't he? And it is the Ministry of Water that established, Ministry of Water, not the National Water and Resource Corporation, that established the water systems. His role is to pump water to us. He has only failed to pump water. So if you fail to really pump water and you still claim to be in charge, my view is that really the people of Mbarara should come, and we irrespective of what we believe in terms of politics. Sometimes when I initiate something, they will say these are no people. But I'm a resident of Mbarara. I'm a stakeholder.
You're a taxpayer.
I'm a taxpayer. I pay water bills. I have like 14, between 10 to 14 meters in this town. So registered in my name. So when I am a stakeholder, I have all the moral authority to talk about that issue.
Thank you. Bruce Wakunda, good morning and welcome to the Big Set.
Good morning, Westgand. Good morning to the listeners. It is a pleasure to be back on the Big Seat for yet another edition. And on a special note, I'm happy to appear with Denmark this morning. We have different beliefs and convictions.
But at least you're of the same generation.
And we go a very long way. He's my comrade. So I'm happy to see him.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good morning and welcome, Bruce Wakunda. Yes, Assistant Dean of the RDCs. Good morning, Omujugujugu.
Deputy Dean of the RDCs.
Please give it to them.
A very good morning to you, Moderator Kanso Banyaji, and a very good morning to these big people who are looking so wow. You can see there's a presence of government in them. A very good morning to our good listeners out there. And my name is Moses Omujugujugu. I am the first Deputy Dean of the RDCs in Uganda, and I want to bring greetings from my appointing authority.
Is the name Mufachinanye very embarrassing to you?
My friend, it is not.
Why don't
but
you
I
say
want
it?
to do a Didipo.
Tradition.
I want to do a Didipo. After all, I was not party to the naming, but I want to do a Didipo.
Hey.
And I continue to have this beautiful name of Omujugujugu that now I gave myself.
Okay.
I want to bring greetings to the listeners from the appointing authority, President Museveni. He says he loves you so much, and he encourages you to continue embracing government programs so that you may be able to take a very good step economically in your lives. I also want to congratulate the PFF upon launching their thing in Western Uganda. But this is a true manifestation of what the NRM promised the Ugandans, that we shall have democracy.
Okay.
In other countries, they wouldn't have launched. You know that for a fact. But I want to congratulate them. And from here, I will be heading to my village in Nyachitunda to greet my people there. I think I will find them there. And they are very good listeners of this big radio station. And they also want to bring greetings from Council Alan Aijuka.
Yeah, my very good friend.
He tells me when I see you, I should convey his message, and I've conveyed it. Thank you for having me.
We're stopping for a break. When we
tough.
come back, we shall
bold.
be going right into our topic of discussion, that is radio. Our social media handles. Please go right there and drop us a line. We'll be able to read some of those messages. The numbers to call to be a part of the conversation is 0752 912 912 and 780 912 912. Don't touch your dial. We'll be right back. Good morning.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
it's tough, it's bold, it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music,
Great music.
great friends.
Great friends.
We are back. It's 18 minutes past 9 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM. Good music, good friends. It's fully packed in studio. I have Omujugujugu Mufachinanye Moses. He's the assistant dean. I hope I've gotten the title right this time around. First deputy dean of the other DCs. Bright Muhumuzai belongs to the National Unity Platform. Musat Kwatanese, the Patriotic League of Uganda. Bruce Wakunda, the National Resistance Movement. And Den Makadios, who is a PFF stalwart. Our topic of discussion this morning, we are assessing the performance of the National Resistance Movement. We had statements by the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, Annette Among, where she decried the state of roads. And it's not only the infrastructure that has problems. We've had situations where people go to health centers and they cannot even get a paracetamol. We've seen how the situation of our schools and the state of service delivery in this country. Is it only a one-off that it's only our roads are so bad? She talked about the road of Mbarabushenyi, sorry state. All these roads are dilapidated. When you go to the hospitals, the wards, especially where the mothers deliver, the maternity wards, they are all sleeping down on the floor. Go to Mulago. The other day we saw Muriagonja, the Court of Appeal Justice, who said they couldn't even get a catheter or something like that for the husband. How bad is the state of affairs under the NRM? Let me start with Musat Kwatanese. You're promoting a 5-year term for President Museveni. But your own leaders, even President Museveni, time and again, has been surprised of the state of affairs in our country. The other day he was making a national tour in the east and the north, and he wondered the state of poverty. People are broke. They can't even afford life. Is this something that you're proud of as the movement after 40 years?
First of all, I want to note that President Museveni is not always wondering of the state of poverty of affairs in the country. No, because maybe the leadership contributes to that state. His wonder is NRM government has fought and instilled peace here, restored peace. Uganda is very peaceful. Movements, you move everywhere you want at any time. Any business you start, no government interference, no security interference. Then he's wondering, those who have land, they can utilize it through farming and other means and get money. Now the president is wondering, with all the avenues created, NRM government has gone ahead to avail money to the people through different government programs, the PDM, the EMYOGA, the youth livelihood programs, the women empowerment programs, all those. So when President Museveni moves in different parts of the country and finds such a state, he wonders. And actually he's right to wonder, because all those platforms have been created for Ugandans to thrive on, for Ugandans to change their lives, for Ugandans to move from a state of poverty to an income state. But still you see people still lagging behind in poverty. My brother, I want to let Ugandans know that the key role of government internationally is to provide security to the wananchi, and to avail the services. Me, I remember when I was still young, a matoke, actually like this season of where the matoke are many, you'd find that even you don't have any single access to the market of matoke. And what would happen? You find the matoke is just there ripen in gardens. But these days, because roads have been extended to all villages in the country, vehicles reach the farmer, so prices of this matoke of different goods from the gardens have rapidly increased. And why have they increased? And why have they increased? The reason is because the accessibility to the market has become cheap, because roads have been extended to the gardens, different gardens of farmers, and also the middlemen have been removed. Actually, these people who used to use bicycles, go to the gardens of people, buy matoke, bring them to the market, have lost job. Why? Now cars reach gardens of farmers and pick matoke. That shows you how the NRM government is focused on delivering services to the common wananchi. Two, when people say education is lagging, we've seen that in 2020, in the financial year of 2023-24, NRM government recruited teachers. In the 2024-2025, NRM government recruited over 4,200 teachers. In this financial year, NRM government has recruited over 4,000 teachers. Why is it doing so? Is it to solve the problem of teacher-student ratio, so that all government schools have teachers who can deliver, and at the end of the day, we boost our education system.
Okay.
Two, we have seen that NRM government is constructing seed schools. In the financial year of 2024-25, we saw over 60 seed schools being built. We saw over 102 government schools being renovated. So I want Ugandans and our comrades here to appreciate that government is working. Okay. And is reaching people. But as we know, even Rome was not built in one day. Even in our families, in our own families, we have challenges. Okay. But we must agree that through a strategic process, we have to go on addressing each and every challenge, and at the end of the day, we shall reach there. And there is a progressive process we are following.
Thank you.
I thank you.
Thank you, Musa. Bruce, President Museveni, on each State of the Nation address, he literally takes us back in 1986, where the population was about 12 million. The GDP was about $5 billion. We are now talking about approximately $50 billion. And we are almost 46, 45 million Ugandans. You know, all the statistics that you can refer to, the NRM has done tremendously well. When you travel to Rwanda, I was in Nairobi just last year, and I saw where Kenya has reached. I was in Kigali just at the start of last year. When you look at Kigali, the city, yes, you can see a lot of poverty in the outskirts, but the city looks beautiful and organized. When you go to, so I work in Mbarara here. When I go to Kampala, I literally die. That dust, that noise, that disorder, the patheticness of the roads. How far has our country gone? How deep has it sloped?
Well, thank you, Wesley. First, we must accept that we cannot make a proper assessment of a 40-year rule in 5 minutes. But that is a story for another day. That would be unfair. But you see, there is a general consensus that at least by 1986, what was a flourishing colonial enclave economy at one point had almost collapsed totally. I think we can agree on that. That's the bare minimum. Severe lack of basic commodities, even soap and sugar, low investor confidence. The inflation had hit double figures, hyperinflation, 200%. Services and industries had collapsed. Basic infrastructure services had collapsed. So NRM inherited a ravaged economy by civil wars and coups and other things. Like I stated here on the show last Saturday, for me, I believe one of the best legal and constitutional reforms the movement ever did was decentralization. The devolution of those powers from the central government to the popularly elected local governments, to make their own budgets, to mobilize their own resources and spend them according to their own priorities, even enact bylaws and ordinances in accordance
Bruce,
with the Constitution.
I believe in with that decentralization, what they've now called regional tier, would have been better if at all it was tangible devolution, like we see in Nigeria or Kenya.
And I'm coming to that. So they manage their payrolls, they have statutory boards and committees that do oversight. But this is not to say that they don't have challenges. Bureaucratic inefficiencies, there is corruption. no competitive bidding processes. They award contracts to incompetent firms that do shoddy work, and they don't follow procurement procedures. They have challenges as well. But you see, for me, when we are talking about service delivery, I want us to use 3 parameters. I like to call them the 3 A's. One is availability. If you're saying schools, if you're saying hospitals, if you're saying electricity, if you're saying roads, in the first place, are they available? From 1986, if the movement found 1,000 kilometers of roads, by end of this year it is going to be 8,000. If they are available, if schools are available, hospitals are available, that is the first A. The second is, how accessible are they? If schools are there, if health center 3s are there, how accessible are they? Do people have to endure long distances to access those schools and hospitals? The third is affordability. It is one thing to have infrastructure in place. It is one thing to have schools in place. But how affordable are they to the common person? So for me, like in a broader strategy to improve access to education, in the previous manifestos, government had committed to have a seed secondary school at every sub-county, to have a health center 3, to have a public university in each region. But you see where I disagree with my government is we don't take our priorities seriously. In the year 2018-2019, Musas appeared before a committee of parliament. And against the advice of the Minister of Finance, government had created more administrative units. Already you have not delivered on the plan. You're saying this plan is going to be rolled out in a phased manner. But already you're creating, by 2021, they had created 10 cities, 10 municipalities, 332 sub-counties, and almost 46 counties. Already you have not delivered services on the already existing units. You're adding other units, which has a financial.
Does that mean you don't buy into the idea that the smaller these units, the easier the service delivery?
No, I don't buy into that. But you see, for instance, when you look at health, and I'm happy that in this financial year budget they have increased funding. This means government is refocusing on improving access to public health facilities. Remember, we have dwindling donor support, increasing demands, and also new diseases that come along. But for me, there has been some work done, for instance, in the health sector. One, there was refurbishment of Mulago Hospital, the Lower Mulago. A specialized hospital was made for heart and cancer. A neuto and maternal wing at Mulago was made. The 5 regional hospitals were refurbished. We have over 146 functional general hospitals.
Bruce, let me ask you a question. Musa here was very clear on how far government has gone to make sure that Uganda is stable and we have peace and tranquility and stability across our borders. What is so hard, let me tell you for free, every Ugandan is very sure that if I want to cause instability, any kind of disruption, I'll be dealt with. Every Ugandan, however little they are. How come that same spirit does not go to other sectors? Why don't Ugandans, why doesn't Museveni and your government say, in addition to to stability and security, why don't we adopt at least another sector like health? And we are perfect, and Ugandans are sure.
Well,
all Cubans across the world, in fact, the entire world knows in Cuba, all other things can fail, but their health sector is top notch.
Well, I'm telling you, there is some work that is being done. It is up to you to say it is not enough or it is enough. To you, it might not be enough, but to Musa, it is enough.
Is it a matter of just building infrastructure, of having Mulago have a new face and a new third building? Is it what is important?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said availability is the first thing.
Yes.
You see, you cannot bring medicine when there is no infrastructure, when there is no hospital. You cannot buy machines when there is no hospital. 2, I was still talking about health. This is not to say that we don't have challenges. That is why, for me, I'm very objective when I support government. For instance, take staffing and personnel. This is the most critical component of any healthcare system in the world. We have challenges there. There are delays in recruitments. The doctors are paid less.
Minister of Finance just released a list of intern doctors admitted after literally 2 years or more.
And that you can imagine such a frustration. So we have institution and the human resource capacity constraints. The last time I checked, the patient to doctor ratio was 1 to 30. One doctor handling 30 patients. And I'm not proud of that. Talk about electricity. This, by the way, these are universal rights. It is not like you're doing people a favor to give them electricity. But we've had our fair share of challenges in that sector. One, most of our infrastructure is concentrated in urban centers, 60%. But in the village connectivities, people on the national grid are around 15%, I think. But there have been efforts. Government is also not seated. There have been efforts to liberalize power markets so that we can freely trade and buy and sell power. Two, we heavily rely on thermal power, which is very expensive. Even some of these locations, they are rugged terrains, very difficult to
error which I want to correct.
Please.
It is a statistical error, I think. The
doctor to patient.
The doctor
I knew it
patient,
was,
yeah,
it must be bigger.
ratio
way bigger.
it is 1 to 2,000 to 25,000.
So that's why I
25,000.
qualified my statement. I
yeah.
said the last time I checked.
Okay.
So it was,
That's okay.
It was sometime back.
But what we can agree is that the ratio of doctor to patient is way bigger.
It's despicable.
It's despicable, yes.
Despicable.
As you conclude.
So, as I conclude, one, we must go back to the drawing board. The problem is people don't want to be objective in their analysis. They want to come here and we pretend like everything is fine. It is not well.
But the challenge that the people like Bright have with you, Bruce Owakunda,
Yes.
is that even when you come and speak out on what needs to change,
Yes.
when they eventually ask you where does the buck stop, you don't know where the buck
But I've
stops.
been clear on this show Wesige from day one.
Yes.
And I've never exonerated the president in all this.
Should
I've
we
already
change
said-
government?
No, but he should take, responsibility. He should take responsibility. Yes. And it was raised by Anita Among.
Yes.
This is laughable. This is someone who is not an ordinary person.
This is the third in
had-
command.
Third
Actually-
topmost person.
Actually, for purposes of guidance, government funds the budget according to priorities. And two, Anita Mong controls the budget. You see, we are in days of politics. It makes no meaning to see some people at the top level just speaking for cheap popularity.
The woman-
At her level, she should know why government finds it a priority to fund this sector heavily and this one
Okay.
less.
That woman heads a key state institution that handles appropriation. And she was behaving like she has made a discovery and never knew that we have bad roads.
No, but she at least qualified her statement. She said, but we release this money. We appropriate this money for roads. Where does the money go?
But-
After all, roads are not being constructed.
but-
Even those that are constructed, what's the quality
But
of
for instance, how
of
much
work?
does a government get for a local government get for construction of roads? 1 billion, which Anita Mong awards herself as airtime for her monthly airtime.
Let's go to the critics. Bright Muhumuza, you promise Ugandans a new Uganda.
New Uganda.
Yes, when you sit back and hear the third in command and the president, he hasn't been shy to speak out some of the inadequacies of government. What is it that you think you would have done differently?
First of all, I want to comment on that statement by Anita Mong. Anita Mong, I also do intelligence. And the intelligence I do is political intelligence.
You do intelligence or you are an intelligence?
Yes, I do political intelligence. And therefore, I know that Anita Mong, together with his deputy speaker and others, are planning to fill the candidate against this regime. Soon or later, you will see it. Secondly, if I was a Speaker of Parliament and I am the one passing all the budgets, you see, there is no way you can now start saying that Bushenyi Road is impassable when you are the one who didn't include it in the budget. So, there are many members of parliament. Kateshunga, who represents Shema municipality, where that road passes, is almost, we used to think that there may be concubines. We are very close. Kateshunga and Anita Mong, they are very, very close that somebody can easily suspect anything. So, somebody who is very close to you cannot raise, he has never raised it on floor parliament. And you now want to cry crocodile tears. So on that matter, I want to encourage Ugandans to disregard or ignore the statements by Anita Mong. They are for political reasons. They are for other issues, not that she really feels sorry for us.
Are you saying the statement that she made was exaggerated?
She's trying to, as somebody says, it is just cheap popularity to hoodwink Ugandans. Because at the end of the day, she sits on that table where they share cake, the cake from. None of her close friends has ever raised anything on floor parliament concerning the development, the issues she was talking about. Because she really sits in she's number 3, as you said. So now you cannot come and say that we don't have roads, that hospitals lack medical equipment, yet you are the ones. You are the one who is in charge of distributing money.
Let us move away from her per se.
That aside,
yes.
When I'm assessing government performance, there are some parameters I use personally. Because you see, all these guys that are trying to raise are issues which an individual can really himself or herself help himself to achieve those. Because if you say there are schools, yes. Now when you assess education and you assess private schools vis-a-vis government schools, you already know that government schools are performing very poorly. Why? Because people in government take their kids to private schools. They have created a cluster. They have created classes that poor people go to the poor schools. And the rich go to the rich schools, to the established schools. Therefore, it is common knowledge that really this government of Uganda has created these clusters, has created the classes for Ugandans. There are those ones who are living in the periphery, and those who are living in the core, and those who are in that upper class. They are enjoying everything to themselves, and they are not whining about others. That's why somebody says roads are there. Yes, there is nobody who has said that roads are not there. They are there, but are they impassable? Are they passable? Can you use them? Because you see, there is evidence that from Mbarara to Ibanda, you cannot. Maybe you can attend. You can attend. Yes, it is a way you can look at it and say you can use this way to Ibanda. But going to Ibanda, if you're a taxi operator driving on that road in Ibanda, it becomes a problem. When you consider, for example, health sector, you said this guy was talking about availability of health infrastructures, that there are health infrastructures that the government of Uganda has been able to construct some health centers. Constructing a health center without a staff, without medical supplies, without electricity. There are health centers without electricity, without water access to water. Health center, it is a health center, it doesn't have access to water. The other time there were reports that health centers in Ichiboga, National Water and Research Corporation had gone there and disconnected the water from the same. Now you wonder, how can a government organization like National Water and Research Corporation start disconnecting water to a serious institution of government like National Water, like health center, and you say government is performing?
But the other
look at the level of corruption.
National Water wanted to disconnect Mulago Hospital over bills.
You see, that is the point we are saying. Before, government establishments we are not paying water bills because National Water Resources Corporation is entirely owned by government of Uganda. Why would police be subjected to paying water bills from a government? You see, it is government selling it to government. Because you see, National Water Resources Corporation is not a private organization. They are not making profit. They are providing a service. Why are they not able to provide a service to a fellow government establishment? So for me, my argument is, when you look at the levels of corruption, President Museveni at that time said the lifestyle audit should really not be implemented, because if they implement it, people will run away with the money and will invest in some other countries.
Okay, let's
and
make
therefore,
some money. Yes, let's make some money when I come back.
I
Yes,
want to conclude my two other points.
please
Then,
do. Please do.
You are making money while you continue.
You
So we
continue
say, saying corruption is really perpetuated by people who are in the government. People steal money. Whistleblowers come up. They raise dust, and you see the same faces in the same government next to cabinet reshuffle. People have been convicted of stealing. We have 2 ministers in this cabinet who even went to Luzira over theft, and they are now serving in this same government. And you see, they are holding sensitive positions even now. So really, I may not. Somebody says they were rehabilitated,
Yes.
but you see, you cannot rehabilitate a person in 2 years or 3. If you are caught stealing, they should have been suspended at least for like 20 years. But in the same subsequent reshuffle, they were reinstated. So
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
Politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
All right, we are back. It's a 9:45 on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, good friends. My name is Wesige Banyaji. Go to our social media handles, 912 Cruise FM on X and 91.2 Cruise FM on Facebook. That's where I've put a question on what you think about the state of performance of the NRM government as far as service delivery is concerned. And if at all you want to watch the show, type in Cruise TV on your YouTube channel. You'll be able to view all that is happening right here on Plot 12 Mutilene. With me in studio is Mousa Tukwatanese Bruso Wakonda Adios Binomjusha. I have Bright Muhomuza and Mufachinanye Moses Omjugujugu. Moses, you just heard Bright talk about the weaknesses of corruption. It looks like corruption is the problem that the NRM government has. Every project fails simply because of corruption. We just heard the president the other day say these number plates, the new number plates, he actually discovered that there are individuals that connived with that Russian company to steal Ugandans. Nothing comes out of government that doesn't have thieves on waiting. Why don't we just overhaul this system?
Thank you very much, my friend Banyaji. Your proposal is very archaic of overhauling the whole system. Why do I say it is archaic and unreasonable? It's like saying that if you have a wound on your finger, you cut off the whole arm. It's unreasonable. If it is cancer, no, you treat that finger and you remain with your arm.
No, it depends.
So, moderator, Moderator, before I go to
but Mufachinanye, before you rush,
Yes.
you've had amputations.
If it is
Moderator.
cancer, they cut the whole arm.
Yes.
If it
Moderator.
is cancer on the leg,
Not
they cut
even
the whole
cancer
leg.
alone,
Moderator.
diabetes. Diabetes.
you are in my time, will you add me time?
You don't,
Because
you
really,
don't wish council well. You say you should be jobless.
Yes,
Council,
yes,
the whole
Moses.
point is that whenever there is a defect, you treat it. If the head is paining, you don't cut it off. You look for medication and treat your head. That's the point I want to make, and that it is important in the management. Maybe before I go into much into my submission, Banyaji, you really made a comment that I felt like I should comment about. You said mothers are sleeping on ground in hospitals. Everything is in a mess. No. Do you know why they are sleeping on floors? It's because they are sure they have hope of getting a service there. If there was no service there, they wouldn't have gone there. Do you get my argument? Banyaji, I am saying if there was no service, people wouldn't be flocking government hospitals. But they go there because they are hopeful of getting services, and actually they do get them. The other point I want to make about to mention of is where Bruce said everything is not well. Yeah, everything is not well because we live in an imperfect world. Even in heaven, like I've always told you, things were not well. The first political coup happened in heaven. Lucifer wanted to take over from God. So that's the nature of the world. We cannot say we have to be in a perfect world. No, that's how it was designed. Only that it is full of challenges. We keep working to solve those challenges so that we can get there. Not 100% there, but to some desirable level. Then the other point my brother mentioned about Comrade Bright says government schools perform poorly. It is not true. The point that's the fallacy of generalization. He would have said some of the government schools perform poorly because I can tell you offhand or an offhead very many big schools of government that perform very well. Our Ntare here is a government school. Ntare here.
Ntare is not a government school.
Mbaraha is a
Those are not government schools. Those are not government schools.
Those are government.
My friend, those are not government.
Those are not government schools.
Buganda Road.
Those are government aided
Buganda
schools.
Road Primary School. They are performing very well. Look at Gayaza High. There are very many government schools that are performing very well. So it is.
I have a question for you.
Please.
If Ontario was a government school, why didn't you study from there?
My friend,
Why didn't you study from there?
but for you in economics, did you study of what we call choice?
So your choice was not in
I scored an A in economics. Choice. I never wanted to go there for personal reasons.
Please conclude.
But conclude. I haven't begun submitting. You are saying
Our time is fast. I need to bring in. Yes.
So they also says Bright also mentioned of that there are classes in Uganda. You tell me in any country in the whole world where there are not classes.
But which are created by the state.
Tell me in any country one like this where there are not classes.
Classes
You see,
are
even
naturally
Banyaji,
created.
we
But
must
for
help our
economics-
citizens to understand that even you see this arm of mine, all the fingers are not equal. They cannot be equal.
Absolutely, yes.
That's how the world was designed. Let him understand that. Then the other point I want to make that is most important is that Ugandans out there, they should understand that Uganda is a still developing country. We are not a developed country. We are still developing. We are a poor country. We cannot do things of the rich. This is not the reality that Bright does not want to tell people, but just want to use his part to orchestrate bizarre statements against the government. Even in the US, there are challenges. People are dying. Even in UK, everywhere. So the point I want to make in this point is that we do not have sufficient resources to take care of everything.
Okay.
But what are the good news I have for this and this morning? That the NRM government had a manifesto. As of today, it has implemented 84% of what it promised to Uganda.
Thank you. Adios.
Yes.
Let's have adios.
Thank you, Wesige, and I want to take this opportunity to appreciate all the moderators for their good points. Mr. Wesige, the problem we have,
let's have adios.
the biggest challenge we have in this country is purely leadership. We have a very serious leadership crisis. And I've for long been telling people that whatever is happening today is intentional. Reason number one, you see, we are being led by rebels. These are not trained leaders, they are rebels. And rebels have their own characters. Rebels have their own behaviors.
Your own leader in whom you pledge your allegiance, Dr. Kizza
Is a rebel.
Is a rebel.
rebel.
And you've been saying him
Yes, he's a rebel.
to be a leader of our country.
He's a rebel. But I want, because he has not been tested, for instance, he's not a president of Uganda. He's leading an opposition political party in Uganda. But I am checking those who are in leadership. President Museveni and his fellows. They have a character that is kind of unique. I have been for long telling people that whatever is happening in this country is intentional. Because they know that once the majority are rich, then it is hard to control them. They want the small group of people to be rich such that they keep on deciding for the majority. That's why I say we have three categories of people in Uganda. There are those who are eating well. There are those who are escorting those eaters, the likes of Musa. And there are those who feed the other small group who ask, they ask the majority. Haroba katera ngoma, haraba nyunyusi, na naba nyunyutu. So, Mr. Wesige, I don't get surprised or shocked when I hear what Comrade Mushugujugu is saying and Comrade Musa is saying. Because it was designed in that way. Those rebels knew that at one point, there will be a group of young people who should be checking them, but instead they will be clapping hands for them, even when they are doing wrong. Even when they are doing wrong.
These are the Musas.
Yes, the Musas and
the
the
Moses.
and the Mushugujugu. Because this is the age, 1981, that made a tough decision to go in the bush and change what was wrong by them. But apparently, even when there's something wrong for them, they say it is very good. Let the government keep there. We are doing well. Yet the young people are dying, right? Yet the Mushugujugu told you that mothers who sleep in the hospitals sleep there because they have hopes. No. It's not because they have hopes, but they have no option. What should they do? No, please. When he was talking, I gave you time.
Just a question.
When he was talking, I gave you time.
Let him place the question.
Yes,
It's okay.
I want to ask my comrade
Yes.
here. He's saying that Uganda is led by a group of rebels.
Yes.
Of which part of the rebel group Kano Chiza Besigye retired?
But I've already placed that question.
He follows him.
And he
So
answered
what,
it.
Yes.
what makes
Should I answer
you
you again?
think?
Should I
What
answer-
makes you think
Should I ask-
that the rebel
No,
group
you-
of
let me-
Museveni
let me
is
give
different
that
from
already.
that?
Let me give him a clear answer. The reason I follow Dr. Kizza Besigye is not yet tested. Is not yet tested.
But part of
Your
the rebel
president-
group you are
your
calling.
president, NRA 001, your president Museveni has been tested for 40 years. So I have all the reasons to criticize him.
To follow the rebel
so
group of
Mr.
Besigye
Wesigye,
and
let's
criticize
allow
the
Mr.
other rebel
Wesigye.
group.
Yes.
Mr. Wesigye, the point I'm trying to drive is that it is high time that both young people and old people should prioritize Uganda first, not their selfish interests. He said that Uganda is a developing country. I agree with him. It does not have everything. But people who are in power have prioritized themselves than others. That's why you'll find that the Speaker of the Parliament has a budget of over 10 billions. Just one person has airtime of a month, 1 billion. President of Uganda spends over 240 something millions per day. Just one person. The daughter, you see, let me tell you, the people we are trying to doink outside there, they have information. And the reason they have information, by the way, is the poverty levels they have passed through. No, please, is the torture, the psychological torture they have seen. It has made them think critically. You cannot lie them anymore. Ugandans understand. And by the way, let me tell you, if we keep this habit, there will be time. It's only gentleman who said the time. Time is the best judge for each and every person inside here, whether you believe it or not. Just hoodwink them, talk whatever you want to talk, because you are the first deputy dean of today. Time will come.
Let's
People
look up
ask
it.
you questions.
Let's look up in the second hour of the show. It's getting really heated. Bruce, let's catch up in the next hour. Good morning.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music,
Great music.
great friends.
Great friends. Ends.
All right, we're back. It's 2 minutes past 10 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, great friends. My name is Wesige Banyaji. We put a question on what you think about the state of service delivery under the NRM government and the shortfalls there. This comes on a backdrop of the statement of the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, who raised serious concerns about the state of poor roads in Uganda, blaming it on stalled projects with contractors and the lack of safety measures. And it didn't stop at only roads. In the health and education sector, the whole thing is a mess. And we are asking you on what you think about the state of service delivery under the NRM government. On Facebook and X, I'll be able to read some of those messages. Kahoza Richard on Facebook is saying the only thing that can change Uganda is ushering in new leadership from LC1 to the president. Thank you, Kahoza. Aine Moses, you're saying you're here in Tochia, Nursery Primary School in Yantonde. We appreciated. Saint Tanzi Dennis, you're saying, I don't think that we are too quick. The NRM has been here for too long. Lack of sensitization is the problem, and corruption. You're listening in from Kacheka in Rugaga, in Central. Paul Tumsime, you're saying we all know that everything done in Uganda is for the welfare of the first family, not Ugandans. Taremwa Agri, you're saying, I think we are too slow to judge. Our beloved president has reached his retirement time and service delivery is poor. With 35 years and above in government, Uganda should now be dealing with science and technology and not building boards. Ainamani Destiny, you're saying, I don't think that we are too quick. The NRM has been here serving Ugandans, and Uganda as a country at large has done nothing. But to say that the NRM government has done nothing, I doubt even Adios here can say it. Ash, you're saying there is no excuse for service delivery after 40 years. A normal working government should be delivering service to Ugandans. To SJ Andrew, you're saying they have to accept the fact that they're failing the political seats to pass time, because they're failing political seats to pass time. Because you cannot be promising us the same things every time you're campaigning and you show nothing for it. Thank you for that feedback. I'll be able to read more of your messages on X. Keep them coming, and I'll be able to open the line so that you call in 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Bruce, the political consciousness of our people. We saw in Kenya the other day, the Gen Z, the young people, stood up to government, only passing the finance bill. Young people resisted. They pushed back, and so many bodies were seen on the streets of Nairobi at the hands of the police. But at least young people had made it known to government that this is not the direction we want the government to take, the country to take. It's so different here in Uganda. What is the position of the young people, especially knowing that the future belongs to them?
Thank you. I don't know if I'm in position to speak for the young people, but you know, when Judas betrayed Jesus, he had a troubled conscience and internal turmoil and went and committed suicide. We are the most complacent and useless generation this country has ever seen. Genetically modified. Yes, we are genetically modified, and we are equipped. First of all, we have an uneducated generation. We've gone to school. We are exposed to technology. We are civically cautious. But I don't know if you went and saw what happens in nightlife.
What is the preoccupation of young people in this country? What are they doing most of the time?
If they are idle, where do they get the money to spend at night? But you see, as a generation, we must step up. Like Adios here said, the time Muntu and the Besige and Museveni went to the bush, launched a war on the sitting government.
These were people younger than us.
They were younger than us. Most of them in their early 20s.
Some had actually just written their last paper at Makerere.
If I can interrupt for just 1 second. You see, they went to the bush and fought a war.
There were reasons as to why they went. For us, we don't need to go because what they fought for, they fought for us. In other words, and they restored peace, restored the constitutionalism. So ours now is to guard and extend the revolution. You proceed.
Anyway, that's your opinion. But like you've said, in Kenya is a different country altogether. The youth of Kenya are politically woke. They do not just take things for granted in their country. So for us, I think as a generation, we must step forward and be firm and reclaim this country, as some people say. I don't know whether from Museveni or from who. But for me, when we go back to service delivery, because for the young people, I have no words. We must, because this touches the social welfare of the people. Someone without access to clean water.
But at least the young people that we are castigating are strategically taking positions in government. They stood, you're seeing Philip Tumukunde, the other side in Nakaseke standing. You're seeing all these young people, those that want to represent the youths of Western Uganda. I think almost 30.
Let me tell you. Actually 13 who fully nominated.
Let me tell you, some of those people and some of the examples and the route you're talking about, they are just extending family legacies. Someone who grew up in Kororo, went to Kampala parents, being dropped, went to St. Andrews Tuli, went to Oxford, does not know that some people sleep hungry. Let me tell you, my friend.
But they're the ones standing for MP.
I know of a kid who thinks that milk comes from a refrigerator. Yes. Does not know that milk comes from cows.
Yes.
Some of those people are on their self and family interests. I do not want to go into that discussion. I was begging for me.
Please.
I go to service delivery.
Please.
As a government, and if you talk to the president, we must revisit our priorities and how we do things. We've allowed politics to overshadow development. That is why you find grossly incompetent people managing our affairs. You find someone is in charge of Uganda Airlines, the probe does not have papers.
No. The head of fiscal planning in Kampala, there was a gentleman from the West here, I think Mr. Twine or something. That's for his qualification. He had a diploma in psychology. The director of fiscal planning of KCCA. And when they asked how did you get that job, he was appointed by the president.
I've never understood the logic behind getting, for instance, Chris Badiomusi as a doctor, and he superintends the docket in ICT. You get Margaret Mahanga, who is a journalist, to head a ministry in health.
But you had a Kajina, who is a psychologist, head URA, and did tremendously well.
As if we don't have qualified and competent people in this.
Now she heads UNRWA. She has been heading UNRWA. Construction.
Yes. You see, Comrade Banyaji, these people are there to provide leadership and administration, but beneath them there are what we call super technocrats who do the document. Ours is to give direction, to supervise a few things here and there.
Now you are an RDC.
Yes, sir.
Let's assume you have technical people below you and they come and brief you on space science and you have zero or little knowledge on that. How are you going to take decisions?
Actually, let me answer that. Recently we saw in 2021 when we had COVID, we would see president coming on air giving scientific tips after being briefed by technocrats who are medics. So really, as a president, you must have technocrats who have experience in the field. Then they give you information. Then you share the information. So leadership, as long as at the top of the leadership there is that knowledge of administration, then below they are technocrats. The system moves forward.
Mr. Musa and Mr. Umujugujugu, are you saying that his argument is a bit raw? Because for him he's saying, why don't you deploy people who have competencies in a certain field to the same field? His argument very redundant? Because we say
the argument is very redundant because the technical part of the requirement is done by the technical people.
They don't want.
I think the information is given.
What they don't want to agree, and the fact is that even the president was being given fake figures. cooked figures so that the lockdown could be extended and money released. This is public knowledge.
But that is a
no,
it has no evidence.
So for me, I think we must prioritize development and leave.
Bruce, what is Uganda's problem? If someone asked you, this is a 62-year-old country that whose GDP per capita is literally about $1,000, whose GDP is less than $50 billion. This is a poor country in all standards.
Yes, but you mean poor countries are supposed to mismanage the small resources they have?
No.
Or they are not supposed to have priorities in terms of development? Let me ask you, how much money have we spent on the Ruboa Specialized Hospital? Couldn't we have put it in Mulago? How much have we given to Magora for a factory? How much have we invested in Morocco?
How much has been given to Kira Motors?
To Kira Moto EV. How much? Don't you think these are misappropriated priorities?
Has been spent on the office of the president for state deputy. This is to spread propaganda.
We have dot services. We have other foreign investors. Why don't we build local capacity? I was telling you, Makere has been in existence for over 100 years, producing engineers. And Chambogo, you mean we've never developed an engineer who can, engineers to train them and they do these roads? Why don't you develop local capacity? Look at the economy. You have sold services. We have sold, look at these multinational companies, MTN and all these. All those sectors, we've sold them to multinational capital.
Bruce, when the NRM government came here, as you opened, you said they found the state of our country very dilapidated, literally. And they needed to seek help from international organizations. These included the IMF and the World Bank. We know what the instruction was. Privatize.
Yes.
And that's what President Museveni and Dr. Ezra Suruma did, and Tumusime Mutebile.
Yes.
They sold the assets of our country and our organizations and to multinational capital.
Yes.
And here we are as a country lamenting over literally 30 years after we sold these institutions.
Yes.
Must we also blame that on President Museveni and the handlers of government, who only heeded to the advice of the IMF and World Bank on some of those concessional loans?
Come again?
Because the requirement was, you're saying, government has literally given up all the resources to multinational capital.
Yes.
What was UCB is now Stanbic Bank, which is privately owned by South Africans.
Yes.
But this was a condition by the IMF and the World Bank when President Museveni came here.
Yes. Taken. Then why don't you give capacity to local investors, do due diligence, instead of giving the money to Pineti? That's my issue, even if it is privatization.
Do local organizations have capacity anyway?
You build capacity. No farm is made with capacity. You build capacity.
Okay. Yes.
I definitely want to disagree with you when you continue mentioning that Uganda has rich resources, that we are a poor country. I don't agree with you personally as Bright Mumza, because when I went to Namibia, I found we are richer than them
in terms of
natural resources.
Yes.
And what they do to their people, I can tell you, when you go to Namibia, you don't want to come back to Uganda. Because when you go to their health sector, you find, yes, you see, because for many reasons, don't disturb me, Mr. You know, when it comes to health sector, if your child falls sick, government comes, picks the child, takes the child to the hospital, they treat, after treatment, care, and bring back. That is happening in Namibia. When in Rwanda, all citizens in Rwanda are insured. They have health insurance cards. When you fall sick, you just go to the hospital and they treat you. A hospital of your choice. Here, we have been crying, talking about health insurance scheme for Ugandans for many years. It has never come to light. We see, we are not asking for many things. No, we want minimum. The government should be able to provide the minimum way of survival. Because if the government cannot treat me well, if the government cannot pay fees for my kid, if the government cannot be able to help me identify or get a job for my child, even when after I have struggled with school fees, If the government cannot provide cheap electricity and access to it, it is there, but how many do they access it? You remember this money that constructed these dams was our tax.
Bright.
Now,
Me, I don't know who grew up in the 90s here.
Yes.
Perhaps me,
I was
you
here.
and
I was here.
Oshogo, these are a bit younger.
Yes.
In the 90s, we had routine load shedding.
Yes.
That's a matter of fact.
Yes.
As a whole country, we knew
Yes.
that
In
today you
90s,
have
but
power.
you remember-
Tomorrow you'll have power.
Yes,
The
and
other
the following,
day,
it is not going to
yes,
be there.
but
I was
now-
there. I saw that with my eyes.
Yes,
I
but
was in
now
this
it
town.
has
No,
changed.
You see, let me tell you, Mr. Wanyeji, it has changed over 40 years. That's the period we're talking about. Magufuli was the president of Tanzania for 4 years. What he was able to do in 4 years, I can tell you, Uganda will never even achieve it. In 4 years. In other countries where presidents serve for only 8 years, 2 terms of 4, like in Ghana, like 10 years, 2 terms of 5 years each, you find the presidents have a lot to achieve, a lot of achievements. They can say, I have been able to do this, I've been able to do this, but look at agriculture sector, which they say, they tell lies to us, that is the backbone of our country. We import peas from Canada. We import pineapples, not pineapples, mangoes, oranges from Egypt. Egypt gets water from Nile here. Egypt. It is a desert country. They get water from Uganda. They go and cultivate. Then after farming, they bring back what they have been able to grow to us to buy. Now the whole agriculture sector is dead completely.
Israel, a desert.
Yes.
Israel produces more vegetables and
The
fruits
other
than
time,
Uganda.
yes, the other time,
Isn't it embarrassing?
the other time, the person who was talking about coffee was Frank Tungebaze and Minister Wamena Bright. They didn't own any plant of coffee. They have never been in that business, but they were the ones forcing Ugandans to pass that law. So somebody talked about family rule and establishment, which I may agree with, because you see, you find even something that doesn't concern them, they are there, shrewdly there. So, Mr. Wanyaji, there is no government department which is supposed to attend to issues that affect Ugandans that you can mention and say, on this they have achieved, on this they have achieved. Never. Because when it comes to water,
driving permits, I can get a driving permit instantly and
you
a
can,
passport.
You
I
can
think
get
those
a driving permit to drive what? You can get a driving permit to drive what? Do you know what the border guys are going through? Do you know what they go? You see, now you know, to get a border.
Yes.
It is now.
You have some information.
You must. You must. You
Yes.
must, to get a border. You must be if it is on a credit facility, 12 million. Motorcycle, small motorcycle. If you want to pay cash, 6.5 million. Yet in India, when you are importing it, it's supposed to be like at 2 million. But now, because of too much taxes, a tax policy of Uganda.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody that wants to establish a business, they look at him as a money-making machine. They come every day, they terrorize you with soldiers, UPDF, and the business collapses.
Okay.
I forgot to say, for instance, you saw what happened in Kenya when the finance bill was dropped.
Mm.
Cuts and slashes were made all over. There was an office of the first lady. It was dropped. What we should do now is to dismantle the entire patronage network of the movement. You have an RDC, you have an assistant RDC, you have a deputy RDC, you have office of the national chairman, you have a secretariat, you have Uganda Investment Authority, you have Ministry of Trade, you have Rwagogo, whom you give 38 billion to do the same job. So the entire patronage network, if we are to be sincere, should be demolished and we reduce on our expenditure.
Okay. Omujugujugu,
Yes.
you just heard the statement of Bruce Wakunda. The recurrent expenditure of Uganda's government, it is huge. 529 members of parliament. You have thousands of RDCs. You have presidential advisors. The whole bloated state. Why don't we just overhaul the state, reduce the size of government, so that our recurrent expenditure is a bit small and we are more effective?
Now, before I answer that question, I want to first say something about Anita among the statements. You see, you did not give me an opportunity to say anything.
I'm giving you now. I'm giving you. Don't digress.
When I was in law school, in my year one, in contract law, there is a case I read that was called Khalil versus Kabolik Smoke Ball Company. In that case, the company had offered some medicine that if you apply it and use it very well, you will not get influenza. Once you get it, the company had put there some money to the public and that you will win that money. So
£1,000.
Yeah, Khalil went ahead and used it. The way the procedures they had prescribed to them, she went ahead and got the influenza. She sued them. Now, because these were malingerers, these were liars, the company went ahead and said, for us, ours was just a mere economic path. We didn't mean it.
An invitation to treat.
An invitation to treat. So that was really very unfortunate. The same case applies to today's Anita Among. Because she's looking for votes for second vice chancellor chairperson from the NRM.
But let us be Ugandans. Wait. I am the moderator of this show.
But you want to in my mouth.
No, I am a moderator of this show.
I
am here to give you guidance. I am supposed, my role here is to guide the panel and allow you debate. If Anita Among said that Bushenyi Mbarara Road is in a sorry state, is it a lie or it's a matter of fact? So what election is there? What campaigning is there? Isn't it factual that in Mulago Hospital here in Mbarara? No, wait. Isn't it factual that in Mbarara Referral Hospital here, there are no drugs? Let's stop whining.
As if even those, as if the delegates that are going to vote are not interested.
Don't we know that government spends a lot of money in sustaining itself?
Do you remember parliamentary exhibition?
Yes.
How people were saying a lot of money was being spent on parliamentary staff, especially the office of the speaker and the deputy, and how she influenced police and security to arrest those that were trying to raise dust. So now they are questioning her moral authority to talk about that issue.
She's the only speaker in the history of Uganda that moves with the biggest convoy. And thirdly, recently in April, she was here. Why didn't she raise that?
Does that erase the fact?
From here?
Is it a statement of fact?
Is it a statement of fact? Omushikushiki is a lawyer here. He knows, he should know better that what Anita Among is saying, this is a matter of fact. This is something that is tangible, all Ugandans know. So why are you blackmailing her?
Can I have the microphone now?
Please.
Thank you very much. One, you see, when you do not have a moral authority to talk about something, you keep quiet. Anita Among does not have a moral authority to talk about bad laws. When her law, the institution she heads is supposed to do appropriation, from appropriation, it's supposed to do what we call oversight.
Yes.
Where has she been? Where
she owns all the accountability committees in Parliament.
Yes. Where has she been for all this long? When I tell you that this is a mere political path, you want to really jump on me. Are you her agent?
Why don't you say?
Are you her agent?
Why don't you say the same when President Museveni speaks on how bad the state of affairs is? Why don't you say that?
I have not had an opportunity to listen to him say so. Okay. But when I get an opportunity, I will be able to make.
Come to Denmark.
You see, we took over my time.
You see, Mr. Wesigi,
yes,
that's our Uganda, and that's where we have reached. Recently, I saw a certain media house quoting President Museveni as one of the presidents who speaks as if he's in opposition, and I strongly agree that he speaks like that. And I am convinced that my brother Mshugu is exposed enough to have seen that. But right now he pretends as if whatever President Museveni says, surely to some extent he does not recognize it or see it. So I think a lot of things and a lot of work should be done. And one of it is to accept to be the messengers of the right message, not the messengers of the good message. What Omushugu and the Comrade Musa are saying here, they are surely giving a good message. Why? Some people have just sent them to say that. It's a good message. Yes, we know you work for the office of the president.
Are you saying
who is the minister there?
all RDCs now on radios and on TVs?
so
That's
Mr.
not
Wesige,
true.
So Mr. Wesige, because they work for those people, there is a message that they must surely push to the public. And I am yet to agree with what Comrade Bright Muhammad said, that according to my political intelligence, there is something that is happening inside the state. And from the way these people are submitting, it could be true. There is a reason why they are against Among. It may either sound perfect or of a point of fact in their ears, but they have a reason why they should counterattack. That's my observation now. Secondly, as a young people, why am I saying we should be good messengers of the right message? Whether NRM is here or not, whether PFF is here or not, Uganda will stay. And you cannot easily tell that if Uganda stays and maybe NRM is not there, maybe whom shall I will be who in the future? You have to defend that. Because we have seen people who served in the previous governments, the UPC government, who are serving in NRM government. But yet, they had their own issues and they are being questioned several times. So, as young people, we should try by all possible means to avoid that. Because, like I said before, General Moon said the time. And that time, he was trying to question someone, to alert someone in FDC. Time came, the person was exposed. We should, by all possible means, Mr. Wesige and comrades here, avoid such kind of politics.
Okay. On 752-912-912, on 780-912-910. Let's get to pick some calls on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. The introvert on X is saying everything is a mess, not just roads but all services. The NRM government has diverted its prioritization from Ugandans to themselves. All they care about is how they stay in power. The rest we are on our own. Opposition is also failing. Only God can save us. Uncle Johnny is saying in Uganda, you're serious alone, I'm telling you. Baraiva roads are impassable, you know. Last time back in Bunya, well, it wasn't very clear. Jordan Murata, you're saying it's all about lack of supervision from the MPs. Isaac Omdama, you're saying for sure President Museveni should intervene and break all the systems from up and we get peace in our country. Then Rukundo Ronald, you're saying, I don't think Mr. Musa can convince us that President Museveni and his government have done more good than the harm that they've created. Let's pick the numbers. The big set.
Yes, Wesley, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling?
This is Franco Dewe from Bunyangaba district.
Yes, Frank. Unfortunately, your line is breaking a little bit. I don't know why. You could get clearer. Yes.
You can hear me, right?
Yes, we now can hear you.
This case.
Unfortunately, your line is bad. Please get a clearer point and call us back on 752-912-912-178-912-910. The big set. Hello, caller. Cruise FM, good morning. Just lost that call. The big set.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
This is Brazil.
Yes.
I come from Nyavaro Chain.
Yes, please.
And a member of Alliance for National Transformation.
Please go right ahead.
I'm happy to hear from those comrades, more especially Denmark, someone I voted to be the good president as Bishop Stewart. I'm really happy. To get back to the program, I feel sorry for such young men who are trying to sugarcoat this government. Someone comes to air, sugarcoat the government when even things are not going well. People are suffering in Bara Regional Referral Hospital and even in all hospitals down on the ground. So, like someone said, they are almost clapping for those big people in the government who are eating. For them, they are just here clapping hands. Like one of the programs of ANT or PSF, It is true this country needs reorganization. We need to have like 10 years without elections. We first organize this country. If possible, we even have another constitution. There is a need to overhaul the constitution or to reorganize it. Maybe we make it like how it was in 1995. I thank you. Brazil, Coordinator of Alliance for National Transformation, Igara West Constituency.
Thank you so much. This gentle, please go to our Facebook and give me your number. Go to the Facebook page of Cruzo and DM me your number, gentleman from Igara, the man of Ant. I'll be able to get some more feedback from you. Thank you so much for that contribution. Then on X, Xavier Lenas saying, why is it that government cites such concerns towards the electoral seasons? Ugandans have suffered a lot with the past decades of unimproved health care. And Arinda Alan, you're saying, you're listening in from Masha in Isinjiro. You're saying, seriously, it's a failing boards and it's a true failing system. Thank you all that have taken time to send us the messages. Brave Owitira, you're saying, but surely Musa is going well. Let's talk about the topic. I thank you for that feedback. Musa will read the message himself. Rukundo Ronald, you're saying, I don't think Mr. Musa can convince us that President Museveni and his cabinet are more good. Chris TV, I can see Kobumanzi Victoria, you're listening in all the way from Nansana. Thank you, Victoria. Nkore Prince, you're watching all the way from Kazo. And I have Simon Vega, you're in Sinjiro, and Jim Katorebe, you're appreciating the show. Nwajara Yona, you're watching from Kashonji. Then Asingwire Kenneth, you're saying, I highly blame the NRM government overstaying in power as the reason for all the failures. Thank you so much. I can see Naijuka Orin, you're appreciating us for the show. Thank you so much for the feedback. Let me get back in studio. Yes, Musa.
I want to appreciate someone called the Dononzio of Ant. Brazil, I think.
Yeah.
He said that there is a need for review of the constitution so that he wanted to mean the installation of the term limits and age limits and all that. And I want to guide him that when you follow historical events of all countries that have grown, for example, let's begin with China here. China had Mao Zedong, who led China up to 1976 when he died. And after his death, there came a man called Deng, and when he came with a lot of reforms, political, social, economic reforms, and those reforms are the ones that led China to what we see today. And now China is one of the greatest economies in the world. But what did Mao do? Mao first stabilized China from a warmonger state to a state where now someone can come and bring in the social reforms, the political reforms, the economic reforms that can stabilize the country. And I can tell you, for whatever is happening today in China is because of the foundation of Mao Zedong and the Chinese Communist Party. And you know, it is the longest serving party in the world. Now, when you compare that, with our NRM here, President Museveni captured power in 1986 when Uganda was in a Soros state. So he has from 1986 to date struggled hard to ensure he first secured the territorial boundaries of our country and ensure Uganda is peaceful. And he has done it perfectly. Now he's on socio-economic transformation.
Does he need more 40 years for
we
that?
cannot achieve that. We cannot achieve that when we are not yet fully sure of the peace and stability. And he has done it. That's why you see Uganda is struggling hard with our status being landlocked, is struggling hard to ensure that even our neighbors, close neighbors, are peaceful. And so after achieving that, I'm very sure that after President Museveni, the founder of the NRM, is no more. We have our Deng, who is already waiting, General Moziki, to bring in the political, the social, the economic reforms that will now see the Uganda shifting from what we see now to another very, very big status. I want you also to compare America. the first world country in the first country in the world, America. You know, Roosevelt is the longest serving president of America. And during that time, America had a lot of, even that's when there was a World War II. And he was able to win the World War II. And that's what made America superpower. And to date, after that, they revisited the constitution, instilled the term limits, the age limits, and everything went back to normal. And as we speak now, America is what we see because of Roosevelt, of the long-term serving of Roosevelt. China is what we see today because of Mao Zedong, long-serving term.
Okay, thank you.
I thank you.
Denmark, the Bruces may be courageous enough to point out the inadequacies of governments, of the NRM government, but they are slow to jump ship to come to the opposition. They will castigate the NRM and all the bottlenecks that they have not been able to overcome, but they are shy to say from today forth, I have left this movement. I think it's not intended to serve good to the opposition. Is it because the opposition is so badly placed that it's not looking very attractive for would-be foot soldiers like Bruce Owakunda?
I am surprised today, by the way, that Bruce introduced himself as someone who is from NRM. The last time I was discussing with Mr. Bruce Owakunda, who was from NT.
No.
He was a member of NT.
I'll give you the
NT is Alliance for National Transformation.
I have known
Their
Bruce
chief
for a
coordinator-
while. I did
Their
know that.
coordinator is General Gregory Mugishamuntu. I have ever met General Gregory Mugishamuntu, who is Bruce Owakunda. I can say it.
Please,
I can say it.
go
So I am surprised today. But most importantly, from what you have asked me today, is that this government has constantly used three main tools. And one of them is fear. Number two is money. Number three is propaganda. Where I think some of the people here on the panel are paid to do that, to do propaganda. Yes, they are there. Why are you running? Why are you interested in saying something? They are paid to do propaganda. However, I must tell you that I am happy. I am happy.
Campaign against propaganda.
I am happy.
No, are you also
You see,
paid to the campaign against
Why can't you
propaganda?
behave? Why can't you behave, Musa?
But you're saying we are paid.
You behave. When you was talking, I kept quiet.
Please.
Yes. So the likes of Bruce are many. But because of the fear that this government has created, definitely they can talk, but they fear to be seen or identified with a certain group of people. For instance, you know very well, Mr. Wesige, that on the 23rd of July, a group of young people, 36, were arrested in Kisumu, brought back to Uganda, and charged with terrorism. After 6 months, they say, according to investigations, we have no case, you go. But remember, there are people who have been surely looking up to those 36 people. Now, the time we spent in prison, the torture we passed through, made those people fear even to associate with us. I can confidently tell that I was surely close with a certain brother of mine. But when I came, because I had found that they have surrounded him with some people, say, one day they will come and do house search. They may even end up taking you. The boy told me, say, you know what? I'm leaving this house. I'm going to stay alone. I quickly observed the reason why he's surely leaving. Fear. That you see, even Bruce, who happened to be my friend, when I came out of the prison, I asked Bruce, I said, Bruce, why didn't you come to Chitaria to see me? He opened and told me, man, that case was big. But remember,
Bruce, wait.
Remember, Bruce is criticizing the government. He knows the truth, that whatever is being done, to some extent, is not right. But he's fearing to be identified with a certain group of people because he knows the consequences. But for long, Dr. West just been telling us, nothing good that comes surely on the silver plate. You must pay the price if you want to be in the government of the future that is coming. If you want to be in the government of your generation, you must pay the price. You shouldn't be in a position of this.
But there are people like
Yes.
Professor Kamuntu here.
Yes.
There are people like Sam Kutesa.
How many are they?
Who have been in every government.
How many are they? There is a unique character that is in them that is not in us as a generation. You see, let me tell you, these people that have overstayed in the government paid a huge price, even when we disagree with them. Paid a huge price. You talked about the Gen Z of Kenya. The Gen Z of Kenya, most of them shed blood, lost their lives. But to some extent, what they were fighting for was achieved. So ours here, the genetically modified Gen Z, are they comfortable? That's why someone can confidently tell you that from his feelings, he knows that Rohingya will rule this country. Hey, someone confidently tell you.
Rohingya is Uganda.
And
nothing bars him.
Yes, I agree with you. But why Rohingya not Musa? Is Musa not a Ugandan?
Is there any law that stops Musa from standing against Rohingya?
No way. But because they have clearly understood the mindset of the Musas who want to be ready, not to lead, that's why they are proud to tell you so. So let me tell you, a lot of work should be done. And what exactly should be done is sensitization. Whatever Bruce has said here is a contribution to the struggle. It does not mean that he should do exactly what he do. Because everybody is talented in his own way. Musa, my brother Bruce, may not be good at what
confronting the state.
Yes, but he can come here and sensitize the youth. And I'm sure that to some extent his message has been picked. You heard the chorus, the comments from the chorus. They know who is lying and who is telling the truth. People confronted my brother here, say, that guy, it seems he ate something. True, he ate. He is escorting some big eaters. So he must defend them by all possible means. I told you about the three categories of the people.
Okay.
Abali, abashendecheza, na nabalisa.
Thank you. Mufachenanyi, omujugujugu, is Uganda's problem as of now. President Museveni is overstaying power.
You see, one, I have a very big complaint that I want to register with you. You give me 5 seconds, 1 minute. When the opposition people get to a microphone, you let them talk until they get tired.
Please.
And they portray a picture that the government may not be around. If the government is here. But all that said, I know you respond, you act accordingly. I know you, I trust you.
Please.
Is Uganda's problem President Museveni?
Yes.
Overstaying power. I'm going to answer that. But before that, there are 2 things I want to mention that Comrade Denmark talked about. One of them, he said, Uganda will have a leadership crisis in Uganda.
Serious one.
And that is not true at all. That's not true. What do you mean by leadership crisis? Don't you have an MP in your area? Don't you have a chairman LC5 in your area? Don't you have chairman LC1 in your area?
Is he competent? That's the question.
But leaders are a reflection of society. Why didn't the competent ones stand?
And why didn't
the competent ones stand?
It is
so the
NRM versus NRM apparently.
An allegation to say that Uganda will have a leadership crisis is the mere fact that you may not be well versed with the situation in Uganda. You could have been maybe somewhere, maybe because you could have been maybe, let me not mention about Chitade. But the point is, we have credible, good leadership in Uganda, and that is regularly changed after every 5 years. We have new leadership. The other issue talked about that we have rebels in Uganda who are in charge of this government. No, we do not have rebels, but we have freedom fighters that are in charge of this government. So let's have the clear distinction of those 2 things.
Who is a rebel?
Then, on the issue, I want to thank the callers. They have made their contribution. I have listened. Those on Facebook who sent messages and X. Thank you so much. But I don't know if before 1986, if you would make those contributions on radio.
Which one?
I mean, those callers, would people call on radio before 1986?
Yes, they would.
And critique the government.
Yes, they would.
And they sleep and they see
including President Museveni.
And they see the following day.
Including President Museveni when he formed UPM. When Museveni formed UPM, there was a government.
But you see,
there was a government. And UPM as a political party had the Secretary General.
But you are confronting this.
You see, me, the problem I have with Moses.
Yes.
these are rights that must
Absolutely.
all
Why do you
Ugandans
think-
must enjoy, not because President Museveni is in leadership.
But are you saying the rights came when President Museveni
Why
came?
should-
While we were not enjoying them
No,
before the NRM gave
You-
to
no,
power?
no, no, let me
That's
ask
the
you.
big question
You
I want
see,
to
Mr.
answer.
Moses, it is
And
bad-
then
it is bad for you to think.
Denmark.
It is bad for you to
You
think
see, civility
that
requires
me
civility
saying that
requires.
President
You
Museveni
see,
have not done
me
that,
as a
then
debater,
I'm against him. No, that's not
Denmark,
right.
Denmark.
Denmark,
Me as a
let's-
debater,
Eh.
when you are talking, I was very quiet with
Please,
my pen and paper.
Please.
And that's why I say
go
I
to
want
the
to
matter.
respond to this ABCD.
Please.
But for you keep interjecting, that's not civility.
No, and actually
And you are showing that you are in
You're
discipline.
wasting time.
I can imagine if you got into government, you will shoot everybody that talks because you are not patient.
You think I
You,
can be
you,
like-
you,
Our
are, you
national
don't you are not a
chairman,
listener.
His Excellency Museveni
Now-
described them that they are aimless reactionary political actors.
I entirely agree with him.
I have no problem with
is
you entirely
is
agreeing with
Uganda's
you, but because
problem-
you're paid to be propagandist, we know that.
Is Uganda's problem?
Let's give Moses
Is Uganda's problem?
time. He answers the question, then I come for Akunda, and then we get it set.
You have asked me a very, very, very big important question. Is Uganda's problem the overstay in the power of President Museveni? That question is not worthy to be answered, because for you as a lawyer, you know there's a doctrine called les ipsa loquitur, that facts speak for themselves. That it is not the problem, because at the end of the day, for us we look at the what, not the who. What is important is the what, not the who. If I want food and I'm having good food, I don't need to know who is preparing the food. I have no business with that person or any creature behind in the kitchen there. So long as the food is there and is being served, Ugandans have food. The roads are there, electricity is there, security is there. Why do I need to be so much interested in the who? Therefore, the problem of Uganda can never be overstay in power by President Museveni. In any case, if we want to assert so, why didn't Uganda develop so high on the very big terrific speed when we changed the presidents like clothes between 1962 to 1986? We would have presidents for 1 day, presidents for 3 months. Why didn't Uganda develop to that level you admire, you are talking about? The issue is not about the change of the president. The issue is about what that president is doing, what that individual is doing, not the individual himself.
Thank you. I'm going to put the same question to you, Bruce. I think time and again, as we reflect as Ugandans, at some point we think the mess that we see, I think all Ugandans, it doesn't matter which tribe and color and affiliation they profess, but by and large, as a nation of people, I think we think where our country is not where I would aspire to be. The roads, the schools, the hospitals, the quality of life. Why are we shy to say, President Museveni, after 40 years, you've done us a good job. How about we give it to another person to drive this country forward?
Thank you, Wesley. First of all, let me set the record straight. This man here, I didn't know.
Is that fear? Are you engulfed by fear?
He's a Waiseka. But you know, I'm seated in between Denmark and Musa. You know, when the stomach is hungry, it grumbles. So Denmark's stomach is grumbling for food. Even when the stomach is full, it grumbles. Musa's stomach is also grumbling because he's at the high table serving. So for me, I'm in between. But first of all, let me set the record straight. You know, Denmark is like Stalin. He uses a technique of accuse the other person that which you are greater of. He's a propagandist.
A senior one.
First of all, my thoughts about General Muntu are very clear. I've never been in a public or private arrangement with him. I don't know whether you...
Is that fear?
No, who should take my instructions because I understand your lawyers. I want to sue for... I want to sue for defamation. But I've already said for me, I'm repellent to a military man. We need a civilian president, let me tell you. After President Museveni. If we keep saying Muhozi, General Muntu, then we shall never... Rohamia now. We shall never escape our past. But that is a very good question you've said to me. You know, changing leadership is not like changing stockings or underwear. These are very serious issues. And that's why you said I'm in the middle ground. Ideally, there would be no problem with changing leadership. all of us, let me tell you, even these Musa Tukwatanise, deep in their heart, they think if there was an alternative, because after 40 years, there is institutional fatigue we must accept. It is the same president who said after 75 years, you are no longer in the same state as when you were in your 30s or 40s. So, but you see, there must be a befitting alternative arrangement. You look at Cabrera, the man made a political pattern. He was dismissed.
He's now suspended for 90 days.
Yes. Imagine the people that had banked on Norbert Mao for over 20 years. He put the party in a briefcase and brought it to the movement. Imagine what happened to the FDC, Nandar and Power. Now there is this Purken, is it called Purken? The part of Denmark, it is called what?
PFF, for freedom.
They don't offer an alternative home. For instance, Denmark has been my friend for quite some time, but he's a radical extremist. He also instills fear. When he was arrested for being a terrorist, I had him here in town at 8 p.m. and we agreed we had an appointment here in Barara. The next morning, the next time I saw Denmark, he was being paraded in Kororo for being a terrorist from Kenya. So there is mistrust at either.
He's not as innocent.
He's not as innocent as he wants people to believe.
Yes.
But if there was an alternative arrangement, if there was a political party that we have common values, shared goals, and they have a plan. By the way, Denmark has been here. He has not talked about the alternative arrangements. He's just criticizing, but he's not saying as PFF we had proposed, or if you're saying roads are like this and this should be done.
But you see, I followed what was happening in Kenya just the other week.
Yeah.
They asked Kalonzo Musyoka why he's so obsessed with the Ruto must go. They asked the same with Edwin Sifuna, the Senate of Nairobi. And they said those that ask those questions of alternatives just want to create a disruption and create some kind of inexisting issues.
Yes.
The matter of fact is, number one on our agenda is to remove Ruto. This man's agenda number one is President Museveni must go. The other alternative of where is the alternative budget can always come.
But do you know
after surmounting this
you cannot
big
continue
problem
to do the same thing and expect different results. This Muntu has already said it. When they captured power, they thought the problems of Uganda had ended. They didn't know that the task ahead of them was almost insurmountable. So you have overthrown Museveni. So what? The next day we fall into instability and we are put in displacement camps and we become refugees.
And it's very predictable.
Which is very possible. So if there was an alternative plan, well, I can buy it and join Denmark. Adios.
But you think the opposition equally have no issue?
There is nothing to write home about.
Okay. We are getting out of here. Let me get your parting shot in a second, Musa.
In a second, I first of all want to appreciate my president, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for a vote of trust in me, together with his office of the president, led by Honorable Minister Babaranda, because recently I received a call instructing me to go and pick an appointment of an assistant RDC, and as I speak now, I'm a commissioner.
Yes.
So
as the big seat, we are very proud of you and congratulations.
I thank you, my brother.
Yes. and we wish you well in that endeavor.
Thank you, my brother.
Yes, Adios, your parting shot.
Thank you very much, Westgate, for giving me an opportunity to surely give my views and my opinions. And of course, I have to appreciate my comrades for also being flexible enough to give their views. Thank you.
All right. Yes, Bruce, your parting shot.
Allow me to congratulate Musa, my brother here, for landing in two things. Maybe I should always conclude my remarks with thanking the president. But he forgot to thank Kanso Mujugujugu, who is the immediate boss.
Who is the immediate boss?
Yes, he's not the boss.
The appointment has no connection with him.
So for me, my parting shot is that the country is bigger than all of us. So in whatever small capacity you have, let's work for a better country.
Right.
Stay blessed.
In a second.
In a second, thank you for having me. Thank you, colleagues, for your good submissions, and to you, the listeners, especially those who called and those who sent messages. We appreciate you. I want to arrest your fears. of those words that were being spoken by these people, especially Bright and Denmark, that they are just mere political path. Don't listen to them. Uganda is secure and safe, and we are heading to a 500 US billion economy that we are up to, and let's walk this journey together. I thank you. I wish you a nice weekend.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's meet next Saturday on the big set. We have news at the top of the hour. Good morning.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of this radio station or its management.
This radio is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission, UCC.
Clap.